Okay, we've got our second chance at fiery. Let's see how it goes. Okay, the Bazaar, it's kind of like
Nothing tiny, nothing huge. All about
it's an auto battler, but it's an auto battler that has some PvE elements as well. So it's quite cool. Let's see. I think I'm supposed to save my gold for in
watch our
case we
JJ shop.
find a shop with
Real
actual burn
friendly guy.
items. And Banana Ball can give us some good stuff. So the goal is we're on day 1 currently, and at the end of each day we'll fight a board that's from another player, and the goal is to defeat 10 enemy players before running out of prestige, which is what you lose when you lose a PvP encounter. Now this first one is going to be a little bit slow because we're just waiting for this sandstorm to kick in, which is like the fatigue mechanic. And it's just because I don't have any items on my board yet. So normally I would have items, and especially since I have this fiery starting skill, which gives my items more burn, I'm really looking for burn items. This is not bad. We can feed it to the furry if we find it,
The
but
bazaar's
we're
a
obviously
crazy
looking
place, right?
for burn, I did say.
Sad to say goodbye.
Let's grab a friend
You
as
have eaten
well.
already?
Move on. No, yeah, it has its own launcher. If you go to playthebazaar.com, you can find it there. And they are planning to introduce a mobile client in the future, but
You should know,
currently
I'm a bit
it's
of a
only
legend
available
on
through
Duolingo.
them. The game actually went into open beta not too long ago, so it's entirely free to download and try out. Okay, well, the opponent doesn't stack any burn at all, so this feels like a pretty easy win.
Another empty chest.
Now I'm
I'll take
already
it.
feeling like I'm off to a much better start with vents. Um, Left eye versus arms dealer is interesting here. I think we're gonna
You're
say
trained
that
as the
left eye
leader.
might
I'm
really
just getting you ready
matter
for the...
with the steam vents. And then get me some gold. Now I just want some more burn items to make the stacking easier.
Welcome in, huh? What can I get you?
At this point, I do think we're supposed to be willing
Toss
to
that
take a
around,
barrel for the
and I'll try
upcoming
to your
PvP
hand.
fight. And Beach
This
Ball is
could use a
actually
free
really
ride.
good. If we
Always
upgrade it to
please.
silver, it'll guarantee haste on the vents. And worst case scenario, it still charges itself, and best case scenario, it charges the vents. So it's kind of like a win-win. And yeah, the vents charge the barrel very quickly. So I probably wouldn't mind
See
being
that
on this
plank?
barrel for like
Walk it.
a decent bit. Let's see. Small, large. Let's take some free items here. Now, do I just want to take the additional exp or check non-weapon items? I do have a decent chunk of gold, and I wouldn't mind some
Army
more
with
power for
no
this fight,
weapons?
so let's go here.
Leave with big
And
bargains.
we're rewarded big time
You
with the
were no
beach
friend,
ball.
but I'm glad you
This is
found it.
feeling like the kind of board where I'm supposed to be very willing to go into depth
Guiding
charge, and then I think
me.
just having one cannonball around can really matter. We'll take an aquatic item. It's a rack raid, that's very good. And then we're just running it like this here. Okay, but we want this to be hasting. This is a bit of a conundrum. I wonder... So we don't have a way to make... I think the haste on Zorakrid won't matter enough compared to having the Beast Ball be a second charger for the barrels. I think this is correct here.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
Yeah, is that what we're calling this now? Because of Moon, this is Among Us gaming whenever we have the vents. Okay, thankfully we just have a lot more burn than them. They started with Obsidian Coral, that's an interesting one. It's not terrible in the early game with the Trebuchet, but like, I'd be a lot more scared if they had a burn skill.
Take your time.
Can keep going middle. Early captain's wheel, I'm certainly not opposed to.
If it's not right for you, bring it back.
And let's see, do I have... I don't really have a clean 4 cell if I find like any of the items that I'd want there. Just do it like this for now. We'll just take 50 health, is still 50 health.
Them's loud gums, fam.
This is shaping up to potentially be an Arbalest angle, but the main thing that I want for me to actually go Arbalest is I would want to have the dive ways available. And I also am a lot less inclined whenever I have Fiery as my starting skill to go for it.
I'll go get me man there, make you regret it, blood.
Artisan Dooms is one of the best things that we can hit when we have the events here.
Place to store the rest of the tyrant's
And there is the option to upgrade the barrel, but I'm just gonna look for another burn skill. And since I have left eye, we'll stack it with the left burn. We're again in the same kind of conundrum. I guess we're probably just playing the pet rock here. This seems reasonable. And then I think we probably just upgrade the barrel. Unless we might just want to upgrade the Zorakrid, and then suddenly it looks a lot more interesting to run. And then we do it like this. Okay, no, I do like this idea. Zorakrid scales really well because it gains 20 damage per rank, but it 10 damage per rank, but it also gets the haste goes up to 2.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
My dreams are too big for you to steal.
And thanks to making sure that we're ahead on X, we're a whole level above this pig. Restorative Piggles is a bit scary, but we have a lot of burn going on here. And since we do have decent defenses too, it's just, yeah, it's too much. And this game is already feeling a lot better. because we have not just burn, but we have real haste. That's the thing that can oftentimes be the most rough when you're going for this kind of aquatic burn build, is when you just don't have the amount of haste that you need to sustain it. I think I'm gonna take the snack time just because it's free. And I'm not super willing to entertain a trebuchet pivot here. I don't think it's... it's maybe the angle. I'll just take the free item.
Support the arts.
We just click highest X. The cinders would be pretty nice. And we'll get 2 barrel procs, which is enough to live in this fight. 3 even. Relatively close, but I had a feeling that a hasted barrel is supposed to be able to win this. I could have, like, reordered to have Zorakrid provide more haste here, but it's fine. Oh, I got restorative piggles from the opponent there. Which, funnily enough, does actually get haste from Beach Ball. So this is what it would look like if we're trying to run Tiny Dancer. And I do think Tiny Dancer has a lot of really good overlap with the stuff that you can be doing with aquatics. So I'm very happy to be doing that.
Be remorseless.
And this is an upgrade. I don't think I want to buy a bronze Yeti crab. I wouldn't try to upgrade Cannonball further than silver. Like, gold, that's when it starts not really being that impactful. But silver still kind of matters. And I do think... like, 1 burn on the vent, when this is what the board is looking like, is actually not irrelevant at all. But I do think we want the barrel upgrade to have a bit of extra power in this PvP. And the reason I'm running the Magma Core is because, for one, it does benefit from the Fiery, but it actually accelerates our Zorakrid, more specifically.
Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Yep. Icy Power Center is an interesting one. But yeah, we got a lot of haste. It's pretty strong. Yeah. Did the Icy Power Sander power play. They also had... they have rushed and rigged with Coolant Lake. Like, this is kind of nutty. Now, here I would like more health. In terms of small items, it's like... it's the Pearl, it's the Dive Ways. Unironically, we could run Silencer for Zorakrid, but I don't think we, like, really need to. I think I need some actual health. I don't have a command for it yet. maybe I do end up having to make one. Let's go with tools.
Well, aren't you a lovely piece of
Yeah. It probably is. I felt quite proud to just cook that one up in like 15 minutes.
prey? A gorgon.
Moon said that he could hear me just like stomping around the room and was like, "What are you doing?" And then I just whipped that up on the spot. Tox Clocks has a lot of really good things for us. Okay, I think I'm supposed to be willing to buy gold fishing rod here because it kind of lets us very meaningfully transition like into the late game. There are just so many things that we could do. Like we find another Soracrid, we I'm just having to think real quick. So I think I'm willing to sell Captain's Wheel here because we're already on a tiny dancer angle with a high-leveled Soracrid. So before I find Shipwreck, I'm not really looking to play this. And we might not find Shipwreck. It's been so long since I saw even a single Shipwreck. The other sell angle is that it could just be the Chum. And we could be saying that... What would that look like? I'm just willing to... Oh, this doesn't look too unreasonable. And if so, I can sell this, this, and this for the burn. Okay, this is fine, this is fine. Because we can't pass up any Artisan Dunes, it's an additional 6 burn, effectively.
I may be young for a captain,
Let's
but I've
see.
seen my share of storms.
Yeah, I'm like Galileo Galilei, stomping around while I'm thinking about Bazaar mechanics. I think that's a flattering take, so I'll take it. Maybe Beach Ball should have been... It should probably have been Beach Ball getting hasted here. It's fine though, we were... Yeah. The fact that they have Petrifying Gaze with Gold Power Drill just means that we can't win this one, unfortunately. Well, sure, he might have been imprisoned by the Inquisition, but, you know, he was kind of in the right, so... Yeah, I'm gonna get imprisoned by Tempo for my hot takes. Well, we're definitely going to Colt.
Sell the guns. I've got the ammo.
Now we're kind of past the point of barrel being useful.
I sell ammo. What you come for?
I would have gone for either depth charge or the waste there, so there were multiple hits. I'll take the 4-man, Flashy Mechanic is still pretty decent. We might be able to run Crane for a bit. Since we did end up keeping the wheel. So there is an argument to upgrade the beach ball or the captain's wheel. I don't think we can realistically run forklift at all.
When you're ready.
There are some silver skills that like potentially really matter. We'll take the peaceful eye here.
I'll send you to Orland, but I'll keep you as long as I can.
10% is 10%. We have 12 gold from the forklift, so... Okay. This just got complicated. So I'm leaning towards selling these to buy the wanted poster, because it's actually, like, scaling, which I think we really need. And then I just sell this for the seaweed, and we call it a day. And then I think I run the poster, because the fishing rod, like, sorta doesn't matter. And so this angle means that if I win, the payoff is rather massive, and if I lose, it kind of doesn't really matter. I would like to run the pearl as well, if I'm willing to sell the cannonball. Because I'm definitely willing to sell the magma core. The magma core would go out eventually anyways. And yeah, I do think, since we're playing really greedy for the scaling, I do care quite a lot about actually winning this combat, so I'm just gonna go this line. Docks, tool, shield item, lightweight. Okay, this is our docks item for later. This one is also meaningful enough that I'm definitely running it over the wanted poster. Like, I get 2x from winning and only 1 extra if I win with that on, so there's certainly a limit to how far I'm willing to go to try to enable it. Now the Piggles is kind of wasted, but I think I care more about the... No, you know what? This works quite well. This one is probably more meaningful. Okay. Now I think we have managed to transition into a board that has some meaningful upside. Okay, I don't think we can beat that, we just don't have the defenses to live long enough to stack up our burn, but maybe the seaweed can really clutch. Didn't think so. This is, like, the fact that they have it with a shiny silencer here and a captain's wheel is pretty much the worst matchup we could face. But that's again why I was so willing to go for the scaling play instead. And here we're getting that fishing rod payoff that I was talking about. With double seaweed, you have much more of a real possibility to play something like water wheel and get away with that. I mean, we are able to start seeing... Like, this could have been Shipwreck. And if it had been Shipwreck, we would have been so much happier. I think holsters is quite meaningful with the Soracrid here. Yeah, the problem is, like, we're so far from being enabled into doing anything iceberg related. So I actually think this is better now. We just need the Zorakrid the first time to go off quickly, and then the vents start kicking in, and it's pretty strong. Shock Trooper can give us burn crit, which wouldn't be bad. There's also some possibilities with, like, incendiary rounds. Let's see, we take gold here.
Impatient. I understand.
And it's definitely just Final Flame. Now we're looking way more solid in terms of damage. And we're gonna start temp boosting. 5 favorite items in the Bazaar. So I definitely do think Arbalest is one of them, and Keg is one of them. But I'm not entirely sure beyond that. I think it kind of fluctuates a bit. Right now, I'm really liking dive weights, but that's more just like because it enables you to do other things that are fun and interesting, less so than me liking, you know, like the item itself. Okay, maybe this is what Pygmalion gameplay should look like. The Ice Club is doing a lot.
Hello, little sentient.
Okay. We had to go fish for the potential of having a shipwreck, because it's one of the main ways that we could realistically, like, dig our way out of this hole. Yeti Crab at gold could potentially end up doing things. And of course, really low CD on the events. So the main thing that I feel like went wrong this run is, and this is sort of why I've been a little bit iffy on going for actual, like, aquatic comps, is that if you don't find the good large items, or especially, like, with these skills, we would have been looking at a very different game, I think, if I'd found a primordial depth charge, for example. But if you don't find your depth charge, if you don't find your
Even a battle? Maybe a skirmish.
figurehead, if you don't find your transition pieces, it's so easy to get stuck in this position where the volcanic vents is really powerful, but that's kind of all I've got going on. Like, I have these vents and then nothing else.
What brings a softy to Roughtown?
There is the Arbalest. So I'm probably willing to buy the Arbalest, but I don't think I'm very willing to play the Arbalest. Because I do have 1 ammo for it as well, so if I find, like, dive weights, it's not at all unreasonable to run it with
I may be
holsters and
young
dive
for a
weights.
captain,
We can
but
just
I've
keep
seen
the
my
steam
share of
vents on the
storms.
board anyways as like our defense. Okay, so this guy doesn't have any good shield skills, so thankfully we probably beat him pretty easily.
Make deals, not war.
There we go, now we're talking. Oh, I forgot to open up a slot for my
Feel our energies resonating.
okay. For my fishing rod. It's been a while since I actually played with it. That's a fairly big misplay, but we can recover. So 4.7 versus 4 flat and 4.5. I think we don't need the pearl that much currently.
All of this is like a gift from the sea. Or something.
Okay, dive waste. Now we're starting to talk. But I don't think I'm gonna play Arbalest now. I'm just playing the dive ways themselves, as it's a meaningful way of
sure you
accelerating
sailors know
the
how to use
defensive
that.
core here, and that I'm just trying to win with burn. There we go. Yeah, it can be really tough to properly remember to sell your inventory, especially now that they've introduced merchants that like incentivize you to keep inventory. So it feels like it's kind of counterintuitive that sometimes you're supposed to sell it and sometimes you're supposed to keep it. It just means you don't have like a good muscle memory for which one it is at any given time. Oh, this is even more haste things, which does start to make me feel like maybe I can consider putting the Arbalest on the board.
You've come a long way, Lady Corsina.
Nothing has cooldown reduction now? Oh, yeah, we have... let's see. No, nothing has cooldown reduction. Oh, you know what? I think it's, if I find jellyfish, I'm supposed to start being willing to put that on the board, but I think that's, like, the main thing that enables it. Because right now, I'm still just a little bit lacking in terms of total haste procs for it to make perfect sense. And the Shadowed Cloak potentially alleviates that issue, but it does so at a very heavy cost of having to spend 2 additional slots on top of the holsters that I'm already having to run for the fast start on the dive weights.
Go ahead.
But now you're starting to see the comp like kind of coming together. This is what it needs to look like for me to feel much more confident. But this scales quite well. It's obviously the seaweeds don't have like infinite longevity, but just the fact that my comp starts so quickly and then has perma-haste on a high burn burn item can beat a lot of average boards in this current meta. I believe this time I correctly left one slot open. Please tell me that I did. I did, and it's a second dive weight. Oh, this is getting interesting. Alright, but I spent all of my ammo. That's a bit unfortunate. Maybe I was supposed to keep, like, one around for that reason. Okay, well, this is fine anyways. It just means that we do it like this for now. Is that good enough? Probably. The reason I'm playing one on the offside here is because slow figurehead is actually really, really powerful. So, yeah, this looks reasonable. Like, we're losing the speed on the Pearl, but we're turning it into, like, a meaningful slow trigger instead, which I'm actually quite a fan of.
Ah, a friend. I mean, a customer.
Okay, wait a second.
Now, if that doesn't work out for you, come back for a refund.
You think this is real? Yeah, this looks real. Are we ever running Silencer? So I don't think we're ever running Silencer, because the vent is like all of our defense. Okay. This looks kinda real. And then obviously it's gotta be upgrading the figurehead, I think. Let's think. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot we can potentially transition this into.
This will inspire the crew.
The desert wind.
And we have very little crit, so I wouldn't be opposed to Foreboding Winds, and obviously Pendulum is like a complete board changer too. I think if we find Pendulum, we're off vents, and instead we're going for like a full charge Arbalest angle. Okay. I think these are the ones that I'm pretty confident aren't going back in. I don't think there's anything that's gonna be worth rolling for. This looks fine. Let's see. Grandmaster mainly has Tiny Dancer as like the only real hit, but we're actually not that high on health, so I think this is the
You should
correct
know,
pick here.
I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Now we have the instant start on the 1, and then normally if he didn't have freeze pot, that would have started my cascade, but I still now have the perma slow going on his board, and then yeah. Okay. I think we've kinda cooked here.
I'm not judging you, I'm evaluating you.
This solves crit, so it's definitely that.
You're not Sphinxian, you learned that. Impressive.
And now we just want the... Okay, wait a second. Does this mean we're ever out of vents? This is the question. So it would look like this if we're out of vents. 3 seconds at this. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where like the vent shielding shouldn't be that crucial. Whereas having like... Yeah, okay, this looks good.
Who I am, thus the Bazaar, is more than a city. It is their plaything.
Let's go trash titan. There's nothing super good from Boss Harrow.
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
And more ammo, please. Ah, that's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take one more out. Full cooldowns and sell. Haste item. Well, we're definitely in the like, let's make sure we're actually taking Tempus territory now. Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, Sexton, since you were wondering, this is definitely like
Fight isn't
the thing that was going wrong this game is that I wasn't finding anything like this. Because this is always where I want to be like ending up eventually. And now I do think there is a real possibility that if we just don't immediately die to this club, this next shot, I believe, will kill them. Little bit too much freeze. The fact that they had shiny springs is, you know, is what it is. And we just want, ideally, like, if we can find a defensive enchant onto the Arbalest, we're looking much, much better. Okay, Radiant is not bad either. So I don't think Clamra goes in yet, but Clamra can definitely go in. I think there is a real possibility that if I had the choice of Radiant, this might be the spot where you do take it.
Come, let's release our joy and
Yeah, Pendulum still definitely makes it onto the board. Although I would have to think about how exactly it does, but it's too good of an item not to fit, especially hitting 16. Okay, so now I do think we're at a point where there are gold skills that I can hit, but I think what matters the most is to up the scaling on the Arbalest just to make sure that we're actually getting those one-shots fast enough. Because that's pretty much how we lose, right? Is whenever we're not one-shotting fast enough.
My food is gonna make you unstoppable.
Okay, so Dooley is a pretty good matchup because obviously we're starting to go at like 1.6 seconds or something, which is very quick. I was scared when I saw big numbers and the defense grid, but thankfully it's not force field, so then I think I'm good. Third shot 10k, not bad. So that's about like 9 seconds into the fight, we're hitting 10k.
I am C4, munitions training robot. I am also in a good mood today.
Let's see. Yeah.
I hope I taught you well enough.
Gunners, a lot of extra shots. And this is relevant too, because now we do have the option of cutting this cannonball, potentially. But I don't think right now we have anything that's more meaningful to run there instead. And I don't think we ever care about running 2 pearls, because we can only have 1 meaningfully adjacent to the jellyfish anyways. So now that I can cut Cannonball, I care a lot more about Silencer than I did previously. And there we go.
Shall I gift wrap it for you?
This does mean that I could technically adjacent this to 2 aquatics, but I don't think it's correct to move any aquatic. I also don't think I care about upgrading the Clamra. I'm thinking if there's like a world where there's any kind of charge skill that matters, but I don't think so. There we go, we're faster, we deal more damage. We always have to assume that come the third one, we are supposed to be killing them, so... I'm not even going to put this ammo on the... That's interesting. Because we already have a lot of multicast on both of my dive weights, so it does feel like there's a meaningful cause for putting... Oh, this is tricky too. Well, I mean, this is just good damage on the dive weights, actually, with all of our fire skills. And now I could actually get the slow burn and put in the the thing like I was talking about. Okay, let's hedge a little bit. I think it's more likely that 2 ammo ends up being relevant than 2 multicast on probably this one.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
Okay, thankfully they don't have caltrops, which gives me a shot, but let's see. 500 damage. 500 damage Alal has been conquered. We are winning. At least they were a bit creative running Octopus on their square pig board. That's not something you see every day. We're never running this again. We're always temp boosting for health, because we have the turbo scaling, we just have to live.
Whirls like the wind. The bazaar is corrupt. Let the
Shit's
desert
pretty damn
cleanse.
hard. Okay, we did find the pendulum. Now this is where it's definitely getting more interesting. So I think if I do run it, it's this way. Let's see, I don't think I'm gonna get a PvE. I'll have the option to test it on, unfortunately. But I think it should be correct, because it just really accelerates the timing. And we do have the extra ammo to kind of support it.
Space is
Let's
my
try.
canvas, and time is my paint.
Oh, this one is below half health. Maybe it wasn't supposed to go on that then. Doesn't really matter though. And just any and all board acceleration. Yeah, that's still exactly 7. These are now full CD. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Cool. This goes back. This goes back. See, find me like a temp boost, a forge. I'll take a temp boost. It's 1,000 extra health. It definitely matters a lot of the time. Okay. Let's see. We got an insane board going here.
Legend of
Hopefully it does something good. Toxic caltrops. That might be too much. Let's find out. Yes! We actually beat Toxic Caltrops on the final one. We conquered the Square Pig with Toxic Caltrops on a multi-casting aquatic build. Oh my god, that's insane. That is amazing. He even had Petrifying Gaze, but we beat him thanks to the Radiant on the Arbalest. This is insanity. We got 700 burn out the dive weights too to finish him off. What an insane run. Oh my god. Yeah. We had more health than him too. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. That is... Whew. Turbo lightning fast start, and all of our resources are just into maximum damage on the Arbalest. 1, 2, 3 shots, and they're done. What a run.
Read
We
the
actually
cards
did
and
it.
listen to
That's
me. They will guide your strategy.
I mean, what can I say? Arbalest is my favorite item in the game. It does not get better than this. Like, this is peak gameplay.